Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to WFO Racing League action. After a week away for the Independence Day holiday, the wait is finally over. Tonight, the RGC Mortorsports O'Reilly Auto Parts Series returns to action as the championship round resumes at Kansas Speedway for Week 3 of the 5-race playoff battle. Kansas Speedway has become one of the premier intimidating tracks in racing. Its progressive banking and wide racing surface gives drivers multiple grooves to work with, allowing them to search high, low, and everywhere in between for speeds. As the race goes on and the rubber builds up, the preferred lane changes, forcing drivers to adapt to every single run. Momentum is everything here. A great corner exit can set up a pass halfway down the straightaway, while one slip can cost several positions in a matter of seconds. Before the holiday break, the playoff drives put on a show at Michigan International Speedway. Richard Holland returned to victory lane after leading 17 laps and holding off a hard-charging Chuck Sweeting in the closing laps. Vern Bradley completed the podium with a strong third-place finish, while John McMillan Jr. brought home fourth. Championship leader rounded out top 5 after leading more than half the race, proving once again that consistency remains one of the biggest keys to this championship. As we head into Kansas, the title fight has become even more compelling. At the top of the standings, Vern Bradley and Adam Matz are tied for the championship lead, setting the stage for what could become one of the closest playoff battles WFO Racing League has ever seen. Nick Hunt enters tonight third in the standings, while Michigan winner Richard Holland has climbed into fourth after his impressive victory. Ricky Fagone rounds out the top 5 with TJ Lee, Burt Wilson, Michael McCulley, Ivan Jones, and Tommy Haynes completing a top 10 that remains packed with championship contenders. With only 3 races remaining, after tonight, only 3 races remaining, including tonight, every point earned, every point left on the table could define this championship season. Tonight action is proudly presented by RGC Mortorsports and the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, bringing another exciting night of WFO Racing League competition to race fans everywhere. The holiday break is behind us, the championship battle is back, and Kansas Speedway is ready. And we will be back after this.
Light the flame, we don't back down, we play this game. Wheel to wheel, it's skill and pride. We're racing clean with fire inside. Every turn a test of guts, fast and fair, no ifs or buts. Respect runs deep in every lane. We fight for wins, not for fame. Precision rules the track right here. Built on sweat, built on gear. Pushing hard but never low. Side by side we let it go. WFO, why freaking open, steal the show. Brotherhood on every lap, no cheap shots, no dirty taps. WFO, legends racing, friendships grow. Full send, all in, let it flow. This is WFO. It ain't just wins, it's how we stand. We lift each other hand in hand. From practice nights to final flags, we've got each other's backs. Hard racers, clean lines, sharpen steel through battle times. No ego, no shame, just honor in the name. WFO, wide freaking open, let it roll. This is where champions are made. WFO Racing League, wide freaking open. WFO, wide freaking open, steal the show. Brotherhood on every lap, no cheap shots, no dirty taps. WFO, legends racing, friendships grow. Full send all in, let it flow. This is WFO.
I'll say I didn't figure out finances till later, so I'm going to need a sugar daughter.
Welcome back, everybody. They're out there finishing qualifying. Got about 2 minutes left on that, and then we'll be able to go and get into the grid. So why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of the, you got about a minute, or you got about 2 minutes. Why don't you give us a little bit of that information that you were saying you found out about tonight's race?
Oh, okay. Yep. We, from what a lot of the guys say, this track has become a track that is very abrasive and eating tires. The ballpark fuel run tonight is somewhere around 45 laps, plus or minus, depending on how fast your car is, but around 45 laps. But the thought is that the tires are going to be gone before we get through 45 laps. So this is going to be a tire management race for sure, which usually Kansas doesn't chew the way it is, but the way they're saying it. But, you know, as we've talked all season, this update has really changed the dynamics of this car and the truck for that matter, whether it be aero or how the vehicle handles. So sounds like the right rear is going to be the
problem factor.
Achilles heel for these cars. Yeah, tonight is they're just, I guess they're chewing the right rear. You can run the bottom or the top. The bottom seems to be fast first handful of laps or so, maybe up to a dozen or so. And then probably tire wear is going to force them running around. It's Kansas, so you can usually run anywhere. You know, you run the top. That usually is, you know, tends to wear the right front a little bit. So you might see guys going between the two. If the right front is getting burned, running the bottom line, they might move up to the top for a while, or maybe run 1 and 2 high, 3 and 4 low, or vice versa, or figure out a way to do it. Or if you're really good with the throttle and patient, disciplined, you know, you might be able to stay at the bottom longer. But, you know, I'm a bottom feeder. I like the bottom. I always like to run the bottom, but it's a discipline sometimes. Sometimes you have to go to the top. You don't have a choice, but
Yeah.
so it'll be interesting to see how the race goes and how the cautions fall. If the guys can run it without too many problems, if, fall off is always an issue, especially if gets pretty slickery. And we've got what are we showing? 16 cars entered
I've
tonight.
got possibly 17.
Or 7. Sorry, my bad. 17. For whatever reason, they switched the bottom 2 numbers for the grid. So, but yeah, 17. I stand corrected. Oh, there they go. Just fixed it. So yeah. So see. Curious to see how this goes. Let's see. Let me pull up. I am so unprepared. We've been off for so long.
Hasn't been that long. And what is up, Ivan? I see you chatting in the chat there. All right, so my screen's shifted on me again. Let me.
Third race of the postseason, right? Of the chase here.
All right. Yes, this is the third race. All right, so tonight's grid, as it has been all season, is presented by Superstar Radio Network. Turn it on, turn it up, something for everyone. Be sure to check them out at superstarradiowetnetwork.com. So our starting grid, you're going to have Vern Bradley up front, and this mixed up on me again here. All right. Let's go like this. Perfect. All right, can I do this? My fingers in the right spots here for everything. Okay. You got Vern Bradley is going to be your starting vehicle. And I hit the button too soon, so let me restart that. Vern Bradley is going to be in first, and Travis Smith will be to his outside in second place, followed by Richard Holland in third, and Chuck Sweeting is going to be to his outside in fourth. Then you got Adam Matz is going to be starting in fifth place tonight, with Burt Wilson to his outside in sixth. Apparently I missed a car, or I missed a punch here. All right, Ricky Fagone is going to be starting in seventh place, with John McMillan Jr. in eighth. You got John Wimbish. He's going to be starting in ninth place tonight, with Michael McCulley to his outside in 10th. You got Ray Polking in 11th in the number 5, with TJ Lee to his outside in 12th. Tommy Haynes is going to be starting in 13th, with Ivan Jones to his outside in 14th. Nick Hunt will be starting in 15th tonight, with Matty Simpson in 16th. And rounding out the field tonight will be Glenn Jameson in 17th. So that is your starting field. Actually feel like that went better than I thought it would. I messed with the cameras before the stream, so I got them fixed, I hope. All right, pace car is down. And we are green. We are officially off on this race. Vern Bradley in the lead, Travis Smith. Oh, we got some vehicles in the wall. We're going to have a caution. Or not.
Yeah. No caution.
56. All right, well, let's rewind it and see what happened.
Maybe
go here, go far chase. That's not far chase. Okay, well, I messed up my far chase, apparently. There it is. All right, let's see. So you got...
Oh, yeah. Burt Wilson, 70 car. is what started it, but then the wreck was behind it.
I'm not sure
The
why
wreck
my
behind it-
camera keeps switching like that.
Yeah, and the wreck behind it was a reaction to, looks like Burt got loose into Adam a little bit, and then
Yeah, and then Michael cut down to try and avoid it and ended up hitting John.
yeah, he saw it. He saw it in front of him and tried to avoid it. Just unfortunately,
And unfortunately for John there,
ooh, he nosed in.
yeah,
John's
he
probably
got,
4.0.
yep, he got put into the wall, and he does have the meatball flag, so he will be, unfortunately, out for the night.
Unfortunately, you hate to see that. Didn't even complete a lap. It's
Okay, my cameras apparently have a mind of their own tonight. Laverne Bradley out there way out in front of everybody. He's got almost a 2-second lead on Richard Holland. So Richard Holland currently running in second. Chuck Sweeting running behind him. Rick Fagone, John McMillan Jr., Travis Smith, Adam Matz, Ray Polking, Tommy Haynes, and Burt Wilson is going to be your top 10.
yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up my overlays, and it's Byrne is out to a giant lead, which makes me wonder if everybody else is pacing for their tires a little bit. He's not just trying to create gaps so when his tires fall off, he's got enough space maybe before they catch.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. He is, like you say, he is over a 2-second gap now, so
Yeah.
he's out here all alone, all by himself. He's getting ready to catch up to Mr. McCulley, actually. Yeah, Richard Holland. Richard Holland is closing that gap a little bit now. He's got it under 2. And Chuck Sweeting right here, right behind him, in 3rd place. Then there's a little bit of a space, but not much. You got Rick Fagone right here in 4th place. John McMillan Jr. trying to challenge him for that 4th place spot. Then you got about another 2-second gap. You got Adam Matz running in 6th place with Travis Smith right behind him. Then you got another second gap almost, and you got Ray Polking and Tommy Haynes. Then you go another 3 seconds, and you got Nick Hunt, Matty Simpson, Ivan Jones, Glenn Jameson trying to get around Ivan. Ivan touching the wall. Yeah, TJ Lee, he's about a second and a half behind Ivan, and then Burt Wilson's another second and a half behind TJ. Burt having issues since he touched the wall earlier on in that first lap.
Yeah, he had come over the radio, said something about he thought his steering might be a little off from the contact.
So if we go through here, it looks like our tightest battle is right here. Adam Matz and Travis Smith. You got about a 0.17 between each other. Our other gap is going to be Ricky Fagone and John McMillan Jr. There's about a 0.17 between them also. So those are your two main battles right now as they stand. Looks like Travis is getting ready to... He was getting ready. He was right there, and then it looks like he lost a little bit. So what is going on, Nation? How are you doing? You know what, Nation? You came in just in time because Vern's out here all by himself. But he is getting caught. Richard Holland has got that down to a 1.2 second gap now. It was over 2. Richard is now gaining on it.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to grab it before you moved down when you're all by himself. That's a good point. That's where he wants to stay.
You can see now, you can see the other cars in the view. So Richard coming on quick. He's got that under a second now.
And Michael's been able to hold a good gap in front of him. Did not go a lap down as well. Let's see lap times here between the two drivers. Cully's a 31.626. Burns a 31.556. So damn near a hundredth of a second. So they're pretty close to similar lap times. Let's see what it looks like this time around. Yeah, McCulley was a 598. Vern was actually an 888. Richard Hollins. Yeah, Vern's an 888 to Hollins 584 to Chuck's 499. Ricky's 6. Everybody's faster than Vern right now. I think he might have cooked his stuff. John's 699. Adams is 705. So yeah, he might have done a little bit of excessive damage to his tires trying to get that gap.
Yeah, because Richard's got that down to a 0.3 now, so
yeah.
They have pulled away from Ricky, though. Ricky's about a second and a half behind. I guess he's kind of maintained that second and a half behind Chuck. So it's definitely, you know, there a lot of the guys are holding their spots, and
yeah, I was just running that as a reference to Vern, not to the cars that are around. You know, I'm just seeing where they're at, just to get an idea of pace, and they are all like that lap. Vern was a 976, Richard 689, Chuck 564, 716 for Ricky, 862 for John, Adam 837. Yeah, so
your numbers are completely different than mine.
I'm looking at their last lap time.
So am I.
Yeah.
Mine for Vern says a 994 with Richard is a 947. Chuck is an 888.
Well, I'm going to tell you what the problem is. Somebody hasn't gone to live after that last looking at the last replay. Okay.
I'm like, you're announcing numbers. I'm like, your numbers don't match mine. What's going on here?
Apologies, everyone. The old man was off for a while. Okay. Vern Bradley, 973.
Yep, that's what I got.
977, 942, 979. So they've equalized. John's in the 32s. Adam's still 97. So yeah.
What is going on, Ray? How are you tonight? Can you believe that? Nation said he would pay me to not race or not sing anymore. I don't know why you'd waste your money.
The actual quote.
He says, I will pay you money to never sing that again. Bert Wilson calling it a night.
Well, as I used to tell people back when I was racing the local tracks, don't believe it till the check clears. When it came to sponsors or people offering you money to put their name on the car, don't believe it till the check clears. So until your little Venmo goes off on your phone, start singing. No.
Tired as always. Did you get your app done? Richard's sitting right there looking to the inside on this corner, trying to see if he can make that spot work. He's got about a 0.2 gap behind Vern right now as they sit. Although they may not be in a hurry to get in front of him either.
Yeah, Chuck was actually the fastest of the three last lap. Chuck, Vern, and then Richard for that last lap. But they're very, very similar. I mean, within like, let's see, is it quiet? Yeah. Vern was an 089, Richard was a 130, Chuck a 103. Yeah, they're half a tenth. They're running all similar pace right now. And as you can see, different lines.
Yep.
Doing it too, so.
Oh, Vern tagging the wall a little bit there. That's going to slow him down, and Chuck and Richard going to drive right on by. That little tag of the wall shot him a whole second slower on that last lap. So close it's not even funny, huh? So Richard Holland now your leader. Chuck Sweeting 0.2 behind him. Vern Bradley now 0.5 behind them. Ricky Fagone is going to be a second behind Vern. John McMillan Jr. is second behind Ricky. Travis Smith is 2 seconds behind John. Adam Matz is a 0.3 behind Travis. Tommy Haynes is about 2 seconds behind Adam. Ray Polking is about 0.2. Trying to decide if that or the Adam Matz battle is the battle to watch right now. They look like they're going slow, but according to my speed, they are going close to 300 miles an hour.
Yeah, you might want to calibrate that sensor. Might be a little off.
That's what it's saying. It says they slow down to about 260, 250, and they speed up to 290.
That wouldn't even work if it was kilometers. That's still too fast.
So we are lap 30 of 135.
Jack's got a little bit of a handful on his hands. I was curious. You see Richard is running that bottom line for the most part. He did run high on that one, but he's been running the bottom and Chuck's been living on the top. So Rich is able to hold pace on the bottom. So I think that will probably allow him to prevail because usually you run the top to hold the same gap that Chuck's doing, you technically have to drive faster, right? Because you're going farther, which means you're also putting more wear on the tires. So I'll be curious to see how that rolls out through this field run. We're at lap 30, so we have probably another, so probably about 2/3 through the field run. So I'll be curious to see how this plays out on this first run. And we are what, 135 laps, so we're
Quite a ways to go yet.
90. Well, and if they can get to 45, it's a two-stopper, right?
Yep.
So
It's all going to matter on how their tires hold up.
yeah. So if they can hold out to there, you know, I don't. There are plenty of guys in the field that are going to be able to do that, or you know what I mean, that should be able to make that work. So I don't see an advantage to short pitting here. You know, now if there's a caution somewhere in here, it changes that whole dynamic in play. But as of right now, looks like somebody's already in the pits. 15 car.
Michael McCauley went in 81.
Oh, that's 15th place. Sorry, that's one track map shows me the who's in the car, and one shows me the position. I just hate that. ATVO shows the name,
The car number?
right? Yeah. With the car number and the initials,
Yeah.
you know. So then I go to iRacing, and you know, they expect you to know the name of the car in that position. So they were close on the track map, but that's a huge miss. Because who the hell is going to remember who's currently in what place? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's
Right.
I think that was a miss. It should be car numbers at least, even if you don't do initials. But that's just, you know, my take on it.
I wish you could toggle that.
Yeah, give you
And
options
nothing
of
else.
how you want it to display.
Yeah, and I wish you
Cool.
could toggle it on and off without turning on everything else on this screen.
Yeah.
You have Vern Bradley. He is in 4th place right now. Ricky Fagone just made a pass around him, it looks like. Vern trying to hold on to his spots. Not fall back too far. Ricky is now out in front and clear of him. Meanwhile, Richard's starting to pull ahead of Chuck. Chuck's about a 0.6 behind Richard. Ricky is 1.3 behind Chuck. Vern is 0.3 behind Ricky. Looks like our tightest race is between Ray Polking, Tommy Haynes, and TJ Lee and Ivan Jones. Everybody else is pretty much about a 0.5 or larger. So come back here to TJ Lee. Watch teammates battle it here. Maybe they'll battle. Maybe they'll just stick with each other. Not sure. EJ is running faster, so be interested to see if he makes a move and tries to get around and then swaps out and then they stick together that way, or if he just stays behind him throughout the beginning parts of this race, and then as they go in and get tires, maybe they'll swap around then. I don't know. Maybe they just stay this way the entire race. Maybe they push each other to the front. You never know. Lots of things could happen. Lots of racing to go. Lots of laps to complete yet.
Yeah, you can see if you get in the cockpit side. I've been riding along with Richard and Chuck, and Richard's just still nice and smooth on the bottom, and Chuck is a little more, car's a little bit more loose on him, a little more out of control, a little more work to run the top side and be fast like that. So I think that, my opinion is, he's probably, the tires are a little bit more worn running that top side than Richard's been, as he's been able to run the bottom. So
Nice to hear, Ray. Nice to hear. Let's go up there and do exactly that. Let's go in and hop in and see what we can see. Interesting. I'm interested to hear if he does that again on the next lap around.
what's that?
He did like a little triple tap on the accelerator.
Might have been a little loose to get grip, but you can see through that corner, nice and smooth going in. Yeah, he might have been a little out of shape there, so he wanted to bring it back around. But you can see how he's pretty much smooth through one and two and three and four. And then if you go to Chuck, he's working the wheel a little bit more. He's put a little more effort into it, which to me is indicative of his tires probably got a little more wear on them. And trying to hold pace is just getting a little bit squirrely.
Taking the wall there a little bit. He's going to lose a spot. Ricky Fagone moving up into second place. Ricky Fagone
Like
taking
the wall
advantage.
again.
Ricky taking advantage of that opportunity to get back up into second place.
All right, you got Adam coming in as well. Sounds like he just called out for a pit stop.
We are on lap 45, 46, so it is that time, as you called out.
Yeah, Michael must have gotten to the wall pretty good or something, because he's on pit road, looks like, for about 7 minutes at this point.
He may be calling it a night. I'm not sure. Which I think... So we still have 15 cars on the track. Technically, 14 of them are still running, racing. Not sure if Michael is in or out.
Okay, something else I learned I like about this ATVO overlay. It shows you the pit time, and it even individually shows you the time when they get into the box and leave the box, and then the overall pit time, which is interesting for me at least to see.
I apparently don't have that one on.
Yeah. Oh, on the standings side, it's not coming up for you, the lane and box. That's surprising since you're the one who gave me the intel how to get to this ATVO. That's odd.
So you got Richard Holland and Chuck Sweeting coming into the pits. Ricky Fagone staying out another lap. He's gone 52 laps on his tires right now.
Chuck's. The one thing that mine doesn't do, though, is show tires, 2 or 4 or none. I wish that did.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Good stop for Richard, 41.2. Not the fastest box time, but overall, him and Glenn are the only one with a 41.2. So that's good in and out. Where did Chuck end up? 41.4. Yeah, very similar. Ricky's still holding out there, 54 laps. So my intel was apparently way wrong. Apparently I was lied to. But
Ricky coming into the pits now. Richard Holland taking over the lead from Adam Matz.
Ricky was decent, 41.6 on the pit stop. Not bad. Curious to see where. Okay, just across the start finish line. So it looks like he cycled out 7th.
You're still here, so you're welcome, huh? And we've got a caution.
I thought I heard something by the holy. What happened to Chuck?
He was part of that incident.
Yeah, part of it? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it looks like Timoty just came up. Vern had nowhere to go.
Chuck was able to save it and not hit the wall. Not sure if he got tagged from behind or not. He was close. I mean, he got tagged, obviously,
Chuck?
by...
Yeah, Tommy came off and
Tommy got him on the back corner, but that's it.
Slammed his right rear, but it was behind the tire, and it doesn't look... It could have been a lot worse. And then Ricky, if you get in Ricky's cam, Ricky wasn't too far off to hitting Chuck as Chuck was sliding back up the track. So it was... Yeah, let me look at Chuck's right rear. Yeah, he just caught the very edge, just the tip.
Just the tip.
Just a corner, just the tip. That's all. So I don't think that'll hurt him any more than losing the spots.
So on that, Chuck drops down to 13th. Vern is in 5th. So Vern not losing too many spots. Chuck getting the worst of that one.
Yeah, Chuck will probably come and get some of the damage fixed. Some fresh tires. Looks like Ricky's coming in as well. Or no, that's Ray.
Looks like Tommy calling it a night.
Get back up to live before I say anything else. Hold, please. Okay. Well, let me see. Lap 59.60. That still leaves 75. No, it's still a one-stopper. So, although maybe if you're not in the very front, like these guys halfway or back, come in, put on fresh tires, full fuel. That way you'll have one pit stop. But now you have less difference. You can split the run into two smaller stints. Tires will be fresher for each run. You know, you're going to give up a couple spots, but you're a midway or to the back. Might not be a bad option.
It looks like 5th back went to the pits.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? Because now, instead of these guys...
So your front four, you got 7, 5, 7, 11.
Yeah. So, and that's, if these tires are wearing as much as I heard, that's a difference. That could be a difference at the end.
All right, pace car is down. We are back green. Richard Holland getting a nice jump on that restart.
Yeah, I'm surprised Ricky, you know, they're in the same room. Usually they coordinate restarts. Of course, possibly after that last win of Ricky's, maybe Richard has decided to maybe put that little maneuver on hold for review.
You got Ricky in 2nd. Ivan currently running in 3rd. Travis Smith is in... Well, that's Matty Simpson. He's dropping down quick. All these guys with fresh tires getting in front of him.
Travis, Adam, Vern, John, all these guys are on fresh tires. Chuck. So we'll be curious to see how that plays out, if it does pay dividends.
Yeah, it's clearly changing up for Matty because Matty has now dropped back to 9th place. Chuck has moved back up to 9th place. So Chuck's on his way back up, moving on up. As you would expect Chuck to do in prime Chuck fashion. Here you see John McMillan coming up on Travis Smith. Trying to find a spot to squeeze through and get around. Going to hold on that lower side and hold the inside on that corner. Start making some moves. He is clear, and he is taking that spot. John McMillan moving up to 5th. He is now going to work on Adam. Adam's starting to work on Ivan. Ivan's got some company. Although Ivan's up there keeping company with Richard Holland too. So Adam's going to go to the inside on that corner. Ivan's going to stay high. Looks like Ivan might have checked up a little bit on that. Lost quite a bit of momentum. Not sure if he broke loose a little bit.
Ivan is also on 13 lap old tires versus these guys are on 7 lap old tires, so that could possibly be a factor what that was. Let me see. Where's Mr. Ivan?
He is currently in 5th.
53, right? Yeah, 53.
Yep.
Okay.
Adam Matt's up here getting challenged by teammate John McMillan and trying to challenge Richard at the same time. So good battle going on here. This is 2, 3, 4.
And Adam and John, those are 2 guys on the fresher tires. And that's the thing, right? Because this is such a clean league. More than likely, this very well might go green. So Richard's just got to run his pace for where he's at on those tires, where these guys can probably push a little bit more since they are fresher. So I'll be curious to see how much Richard defends that spot. As far as trying to overdrive, or will he just keep his own pace and just plan on, you know, we have at least one more pit stop, so we know for sure we're going to stop one more time.
And that'll be the thing. That's what everybody's kind of keeping in their mind right now is where do I pit if it goes green? And how does my strategy change if it doesn't? Adam moving to the inside. We are halfway through this race. He is going to overtake Richard and take that spot. Adam now in 2nd. John McMillan looking at the inside. Richard's going to close that door and say, not right now. But I am sure John is not done. Wants to get up there with his teammate.
John's like, wait for me, Adam. Adam's like, you got to step it up. Can't wait for you. Got to go.
Get around him. I ain't waiting.
For us older folk, the old saying was shit or get off the pot.
There goes John to the inside right now.
Yeah.
Gonna make that move.
He's able to roll a little bit lower around that corner and just get his nose in underneath Richard. So Richard's not going to fight him. Yeah, he'll concede it. Let him by. No point in fighting him this time.
If it was the last stretch, maybe.
But it'd be a whole, yeah.
So you got Glenn Jameson up here in 6th with Ray right behind him. That looks like it's our next battle. Although we will keep an eye on Adam. Adam's starting to, well, he was. Now he's starting to slow back down. I was going to say he was starting to make a move on Ricky, who is currently leading.
He might, now that he's in 2nd, he might have moved into a little bit of a tire save pace.
knowing there's another pit stop yet.
Yeah, and he is still gaining. Not super fast, but he just gave up a little bit there. But for the most part, it looks like he is. Oh, he's actually moving a. Okay, now he's getting it back. Yeah, and he knows he's a little bit fresher tire, so he might be just sort of set in, you know, and just I don't know.
Or maybe Ricky has found the path of least resistance.
That too. One way to tell. Let's take a look here. Let me do this.
Oh, Adam is catching them, so never mind.
Let me go to Ricky Fagone. Let me look at his laps. Yeah, he might have just tried pressing a lap or two and then realized it just pushing it too hard.
So I'm looking at the pit times. I did add them in, by the way. I'm looking at the pit times, and it looks like Travis and Vern must have just got fuel, or maybe Vern got one set of tires.
Yeah, I don't show tires. My guess would be you're getting a full thing of. Well, I don't know. You have time to get both tires if you get a full set of fuel. However, that's a short pit, so they might have only taken
one set and some fuel.
See, here's what's weird about Travis. He's 4.8 seconds in the box. That's not even a set of tires.
That's basically a splash and dash.
Yeah, which makes no sense. I don't. To me, at least, as far as to figure out why. Vern 9.1. That he probably took right sides and just some fuel to get position, maybe. But I don't know. It's odd, or just our telemetry is a little foobarred. One of the two.
That's also possible.
Yeah.
And I'm going to challenge and get that first place away from Ricky right now. Partner John McMillan is in third and looking to do the same.
Yeah, at this point in the race, I don't see the gain to two tires, especially on a caution pit. Green flag maybe to grab some serious space, but
Ricky not giving up that front spot too easy. Adam has it, but Ricky is not letting him get away. And then at the same time, John is trying to work his way somewhere to get around Ricky. So Ricky trying to maintain up with Adam, and John trying to find a spot to get up and around Ricky. So you got your battle 1, 2, 3 right there. They are really battling it out right now. John going to the outside, going to the inside. John tapping the wall. That is not going to help him, but he is going to manage to get to the inside of Ricky on that. So maybe that wall tap did help him. I'm not sure.
maybe sprung him forward a little bit.
Because he is now clear and in front of Ricky. He did have a whole second, almost 2 seconds or 0.2 faster on that lap. So,
yeah, you've got a pretty good delay on this because he just now got around him on your broadcast.
Yeah, the YouTube usually is like 10 seconds.
Is it 10 seconds? Okay. So we need to practice just whatever we want to say be 10 seconds later. so we sync to the broadcast.
No, because it's what we're saying now is synced to the broadcast when it's played 10 seconds from now.
Yeah, that's true. That blows my plan. I was going to say, let's just get off live and back up a little bit. And then we'll be synced. But no, then we'd be 10 seconds behind.
Yeah, then be 10 more seconds behind live.
See, this is what happens when you don't have alcohol for an extended period of time, I think. Something.
Is that what we're going with? It's alcohol?
Well, no, I'm going to put it to the heat because I was in pretty much 98 degrees with a real feel of almost 100 almost all day between Kentucky and the farther north I got in Indiana today, the hotter it got, which is actually opposite of the way heat usually works.
Oh, you
Usually
were
the more north it's
listening to
cooler.
98 degrees with Nation today, huh?
What? Say what? Sorry, what?
The
You had
boy
me
band
get lost.
98 degrees.
Oh, that's an old flashback. And I didn't even listen to them when they were out.
Nation would probably say, who the F are they?
Oh, I'm aware of them, and I'm sure I probably know a couple of songs because they probably had one or two hits that everybody knew. By the way, Mr. Fagone is not conceding.
No, he is not. Adam going back to third.
So I agree with you. Ricky, I think, has probably found something because Richard, who typically is pretty fast, is not gaining on this group, really. He's sort of hanging around back there, but for him and Ricky to be on the same tire set.
And Ricky battling, that usually lets people catch up when you battle.
Yeah, because you can't fully run your line. You can't come all the way out towards the wall or dive down where you're at. So, yeah, Ricky definitely having a solid night today. He's got a good car, good horse on him. No. And
What's
he's wrapping
going on,
that line
Scotty?
really good too. What's we got going? Glenn and Ray, pretty close. 63 car and 5 car, and then who else? TJ and Chuck. I think they're having a little bit of a thing. I don't know, maybe Chuck's car was damaged more than it looked. It sure didn't look that bad. But the damage model on these O'Reilly cars is a little weird. Like I said, you've seen it. You have these guys that nose the car into the wall and not too bad, and all of a sudden they're done. So maybe he's hurt
Yeah, and
more than we're thinking.
he had worked his way up to like 9th or 8th place back from that, and now he's back down again. Oh, John McMillan just tagging the wall there.
Unless maybe he got a little loose pushing it and slid a little bit. Maybe cooked the set of tires possibly. Because yeah, the car
Possibly.
doesn't look bad.
Looks like Vern Bradley is calling it a night. That time Adam tagging the wall.
But
Ricky's-
again, gave him a little speed, and now he's passing the 15. So maybe there's something to. Maybe we found a glitch in the system. A life hack at Kansas. And also, Richard has decided to kind of come up and think about joining the party up there in the front.
Ricky working his way back in, trying to get that second spot back again. Yes, John Wimmish is calling it a night. Burt Wilson is calling it a night. I gotta assume McCulley has called it a night. Tommy Haynes has called it a night. And Mr. Vern Bradley has now called it a night.
Decent amount of attrition tonight. For, non-caution bearing incidences. I'm probably going to assume probably wall contact, probably, right? That's we're seeing it even with the front guys. Losing the nose a little bit, catching the wall, coming off the corner.
Matty Simpson coming out of the pits. We got about 45 laps to go, so at any time these guys can come in, get tires for the last run.
Yeah. So now we
However-
know these guys, Ricky and Richard, were able to push to 52 laps, but they don't need to now. There's only 43 laps about left, so any time from here on is you're good to the end, even with a caution.
And
So
I
you-
gotta
now-
think with the way that these guys are running right now, they're gonna push it to the end to go get tires.
Yeah, but you know what? I wish I knew what the fall off clean tires. Let me see if that is on the ATVO. Best lap, worst lap? No, it doesn't, is it? I'd be curious to see what the difference is between a fresh set of tires and old tires. You know, if it's a second and a half. Now might be the time to consider maybe come in a little early, get the fresh tires, and build yourself a gap for when these guys come in. Now they came in what they are.
Well, so they're currently, so like Ricky currently is running a 32.402 and his best lap was a 30.788.
So about a second and a half. Right? Ballpark.
Adam is currently at a 32.255 and his best was a 30.589.
Yeah. Second and a half, 1.7. So if that's currently what you're running versus fast, if you come in and get fresh tires, and you can gain a second and a half if you get an extra 6 laps in before they pit, that's 9 seconds. But then the question is, how much faster are the guys once they get tires going to be able to make up as yours are falling off? Is it enough to come back and catch, you know, or in a second do they just, you know, because they don't even plateau. They do keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse. You know, you see lap times consistently go slower and slower throughout the run. Although I'm looking at Adams times, and they're plus and minus a tenth, almost a tenth and a half. So he might, unless he's fishing around, that might be the inconsistency, trying to find something that works. But yeah, oh, John off the wall again. Oh, and then
Richard on
off
the wall too. Ricky's going to take that and move back into second, but John's going to get right back in there and try and hold that spot. You know, it's interesting to me
Little contact.
how these guys manage to tag the wall. And sometimes when they tag the wall, they just keep right on going. Other times they take the wall and that wall sucks them in and slides them right back.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of just how much you catch it. If you catch it a little bit, it's not, yeah. As someone who consistently likes to roll off the corner, roll out of the corner. I'm a bottom feeder through and through the corners. I love to wrap the bottom, but I also like to let it roll out almost right up to the wall. As someone who does that and lives on that edge, you can hit the wall a lot. It just depends on how hard. And if you are getting into it hard, there's also a little trick I learned years ago to keep you from getting wheel damage due to how the wheels turn. Yeah, and some tracks tend to hold you tighter than others, right? This track, I don't know if I've really seen. Most of these guys have been coming off to the point where they just caught it right as they're coming off, where like on the tri-oval, if you catch it going through the tri-oval, you're pushing into it. You're not just glancing at it as you're turning off and it seems to suck you in. So it really is on the angle that you catch the wall. And there's probably, I'm sure, a randomness to it as well, right?
Right.
Of however they do their contact model. You know, we see it with net code. You'll have cars that aren't even close, and they'll have a net code reaction to them as if they touch. So.
And Ricky of that crew is going to be the first one to come into the pits. So I imagine the rest of those guys will duck in this next time around.
Yeah, I feel it's going to be an advantage to short pit here at this point with what's left in the run. Try to build a little bit of an advantage with 35 laps to go. So that's what, about 2/3 of a run ballpark. So it might be to his advantage. So I just got a good stop.
Oh, he's going full
Yeah, he
stop.
was in the box good. 14.3, so that's a solid time getting into the box, out of the box. 41.3 coming out. Our best we've seen tonight has been, what, a 41.2, so good stop, good solid stop. Richard's in. Glenn Jameson is in. Let's see what Richard's.
Glenn just got a black flag.
Oh. That's not bueno. Oh, it does show up. BF. I thought maybe we were best friends there. Okay. Well, that explains.
What's
that
going
makes
on,
more
Mr.
sense.
Patterson?
Chuck had a good solid stop.
You gotta
Sorry,
keep
go ahead.
you gotta keep the smoke inside those pieces. When the smoke comes out, that's not that that's when they give up.
Wow. Fastest stop of the night, Richard Holland, 41.1 seconds. Slow in the box. One of the worst times in the box, but overall, good stop. So,
Well, Adam, the last time in the box, he had an 18.7.
yeah. I didn't want to bring that up on air to anybody. Call him out, but yes. Which gave him a 45.7 second pit stop, where most of these guys are 41.3s, 41.6s, 42.0. Yeah, he had a. He might. That to me is indicative. I think he probably slid the box a little bit, slid a little bit past, had to back up really quick. So let's see what we got here. Adam is a 32.361. Ricky Fagone is a 30.763. So pretty significant. Like a 2-second
Ricky
difference.
just got a 30.64 on that one. So definitely gonna be
Yeah,
climbing
to
back up.
To Adam's 32.4. So yeah, we're talking a significant difference.
It looks like Chuck went in early on the pits, so he was trying to get a little bit early. Him and Travis, like Chuck went in 12 laps ago. Travis went in 10 laps ago, so your two leaders right now, which you've got obviously a lap. They're holding on. I'm not sure how fast the other guys are catching back up now, but
Yeah, unless they're
I mean, if we go to the hood,
well, they might
We
stay
move
out
back.
now, because now they're at the point they're the only two that haven't pitted yet. Everybody else is a lap down. So they might.
well, now looking at this, they are not too far ahead of lap traffic.
Travis would be the closest to them.
And he is coming up right behind them right now.
Yeah. So Travis, shit. What's Travis? 90 something?
98.
96, 98. 98. Okay, thank you. Yep, and
So-
he's coming around.
He's going around the outside of them right now. Oh,
So Adam, 30,
watch out, Adam.
32.5. Well, I'm not going to take a lap time off that because well, he's coming around him on the outside, so he's going to get his lap back.
Yep. Bless you, sir. Now that he's
Thank
gone
you.
around, I would imagine those two will come in for pit stop. Maybe. Maybe not.
Yeah, Ricky's coming up on him pretty fast. He's going to get him around him. Ricky's. Yeah, I'm not sure why they're still staying out, but Adam's a good race car driver, so I'm sure he's got his reason. You know what I mean? He's got a plan.
Well, probably if he can get them to get like 10 laps on him, and then he can race his way back up.
Yeah, the only concern I see with that, man, I thought I heard somebody sliding.
I did. Travis Smith.
Oh, caution. Well, here you go. You blink?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and jump in on Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky's got no apology to that. Travis came back on, was headed to the wall, and did a little bit of a hard left. Normal reaction.
Luckily, they were able to keep it fairly straight. Unfortunately, they were into the wall, so I imagine Ricky's going to have some wheel damage. He does have some side panel damage now, so
yeah, let me see what's his right front look like.
Oh, and Chuck just got a black flag. Why did Chuck get a black flag? Coming out of the pits?
I got a black flag for passing a pace car. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think that was a glitch call on that black flag. It got cleared. All right, well.
So that's going to change up everything.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Everybody's going to come in, so everybody's on freshies, right? Even Richard, Ricky just came in. Everybody's in. So Richard's getting the wave around, so that's going to put him in the back.
Oh, I'm on the wrong. Helps if I'm in the... I was like, what's going on here? Helps if I'm live.
I'm not going to judge. All right, Richard's got some work to do. He got the wave around, so he had to go all the way back on the restart. But due to the attrition we've had in this race,
We'll see, and that's interesting because Chuck said he got the wave around.
But no, Chuck was the lucky dog. But Richard, when the caution came out, was in front of.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. He had just came around to get back on the lead lap. So he's in front of Adam. But literally in front of him. So he gets the wave around to come around to the back. Stay on the lead lap. So. But he's already up to 4th. So that didn't take long.
Unfortunately for Ricky, he's down a lap now. But you hate to see it. He had a good run going there.
He had a fast horse. He was, I think on even tires, I think he was probably the fastest car. Well, we know that. He was. When everybody before the pit strategies came around, he was the fastest car. So, yeah, he had a really good car, so that's unfortunate. But he's probably, get another caution come out, he gets some more repair done. He'll be the lucky dog. He might be right back in this. There's, especially in this type of scenario, right? There's only
18 laps to
on
go.
The lead lap. Yeah. But only 7 cars, so
Yeah.
caution comes out. If you're in 7th place, you're literally just inside 4th row. So you're not too far. It's not necessarily over. Mathematically. But yeah, he's in a bad spot now.
I was going to say something, but I don't want to jinx people, so I'm not going to say anything.
Do it. Do it. Not only to them, why would you do that to yourself? Why would you put yourself in that spot?
Chuck getting up there and challenging John McMillan for that 2nd spot. Rich kind of falling back there. Not sure if he's waiting and saving or if he's not sure. Because see, that'll be the other thing. If there's
Sorry, what was
another
that?
caution, say there's another caution at 10 laps to go. How many of these guys are going to stay out and how many are going to go in?
None will go in. Because they've already pitted 3 times. I think we only had a total of 4 tire sets, so that would have been 3 on the wall. Right? So I don't think anybody's got tires left. I think we're in now. The only benefit to anyone I think coming in would be Ricky if there's damage. And maybe if the car's tight, come in to get some more fuel to loosen it up. But yeah, like I said, I wish we had that. We're going to have to find an overlay that shows when they get tires, total use. There's got to be something out there. But yeah, they've been in the pits 3 times, right? So, I mean, Chuck's been in there 4. 1 was probably for damage, but my assumption would be they took tires every time. So there shouldn't be any left. We need to do an overlay hunt for that kind of intel for next time. So we're not guessing, but yeah, I believe everybody's used all their tires.
So Chuck was able to get around John. And now he's on his way up to Adam, but Adam's got a good gap there, about a 0.5, almost 0.6. John is still battling with Chuck for this spot. We'll go back here because they're battling it out for 2nd right now. Now Richard slowly climbing back up to join them. Seems to be the MO. these guys battle for second, and Richards kind of sneaks up from behind and says, "Hey guys, I'm here too."
Yeah. Richards now running. He just ran a middle line in that last set of corners.
We now
Back
have
down the
10
bottom
laps, 10 laps to go. Looks like Ricky did lose a spot to Ivan back here, so. You hate to see it. He had an awesome run going. You know he's hoping for another caution.
Sorry, who was that?
Ricky.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
And-
he doesn't
and
want a
I'm sure-
caution yet. He wants to get back in front of Ivan. Then he wants a caution.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm sure if you ask him now, he hates this track. I hate that track anyhow.
He's got another blinky going on behind him.
Yep. Evan's like, I don't know if I'm ready to give this up just yet, but it's like Ricky's gonna get it anyhow.
I know from what I've been seeing, neither one of those two want to be behind that 03.
Well, and here's the thing. The 10, the 53, and the 03, they were all one lap down. They were all fighting for that spot.
Right.
They're all vying for that lucky dog in case it happens. So, yeah, this is probably where you're going to see your hardest driving, right here.
Richard is going to sneak up and try and take a spot away from Chuck. Got your battle for
looks like-
third, and you got your battle for Lucky Dog.
Yeah, it looks like the lucky dog battle has already been. Ricky's now got about a 5-6 car gap on Ivan. So, as of now, he's got that spot if it comes out.
Richard's going to battle Chuck, and Chuck's going to not give
Yeah,
that
he's-
spot up.
He's got good roll speed coming off the corner. So you do get a good amount of momentum up on the top.
So we got 5 to go. 7 cars on the lead lap. This is your battle for third right now between Chuck and Richard. John is about a 0.6 behind Adam, and these guys are about a 1.3 behind John. So it's going to need to be a hell of a battle to get back up there if they want to challenge for second. So we'll kind of maintain right here and see how this goes. There's 4 laps to go. It doesn't look like they're gaining. It actually looks like they're losing, and part of that's probably because they're battling each other. But they are going to keep battling. Chuck is not giving that spot up easily. He wants that podium, as does Richard. Richard is going to take it. I was just going to say Richard wants it more than Chuck because Chuck isn't in the points running.
Well, that works for us because apparently Chuck doesn't like doing interviews, so he never stays around.
But that will switch everything up because Vern and Adam were tied for first, and Vern is out. Adam's currently running first. Nick Hunt is not Oh, he is in here. He's running sixth
He's
right
in
now.
sixth. He's running sixth.
So he's going to
pretty
have
much
some
got
good
that
points.
locked up, unless he could pull fifth away from Ray. 60. Let's see where they're at.
We've got about a 0.3. I don't think he's got enough time because we are on the last lap right now.
Last lap brought to you by White Flag Lap. Actually, we don't have anybody for the White Flag Lap, do we?
We do not. Adam Matz is going to be your winner tonight, followed by John McMillan, Richard Holland, Chuck Sweeting, Ray Polking, Nick Hunt, TJ Lee 7th, Ricky Fagone ends up 8th, Matty Simpson 9th, Ivan Jones 10th, Travis Smith is 11th, Glenn Jameson is in 12th, Vern Bradley 13th, Tommy Haynes 14th, Mike McCulley 15th, Burt Wilson 16th, and John Wimmish is 17th.
Get to that. Take that off.
All right, so let's see. Go here, and then go here, and then go here. I think I need to go one more back. Yeah, that's where we want to be, right there. All right. Go there and come here. All right. Oh, these guys. These guys. All right. Mr. Richard Holland, you got a copy?
I got you.
Well, sir, it's not first, but you had a hell of a battle with Chuck to gain third.
Yeah. I figured he'd be tough to get around Chuck there, but I don't know. I lost track of what everybody had there at the end. I think all of us up there had tires. The caution before that elected to stay out because I'd only been on the track like a couple laps when the caution came out, and I really wanted to pit, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to stay up front there. That just a lap or two, difference in tires was huge tonight. So we just tried to maintain the best we could and thought we did well just to stay with them guys on that run and try to take care of it. And then that caution came out, man. I felt like we were in a really good spot. Me and Ricky had already pitted. We were going by Adam and John there, and I was going to make things interesting anyways. But I just barely got by Adam to stay on the lead lap. But the problem is I ended up cycling around, being the last car on the tail end of the lead lap. I had to pass a bunch of cars in order to get there, and You couldn't abuse this thing tonight. You drove it real hard and you just melt the tires off of it. And I didn't have anything there at the end to do anything with. I was lucky to get by Chuck.
Well, and that was the thing, right? If the caution had to come out, then Adam and John are in the spot, right? Because they're still on the old tires, and they're just losing. What were we? I think we were tracking there about a second and a half to 2 seconds, plus or minus, off of you or Ricky, somebody versus Adam that was still out, and we were anywhere from 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds a lap. So that's huge as they're staying out. So I thought they were sort of getting themselves in a pickle, and then the caution came out, and then it completely changed the dynamic of the race. And now it was turned around, the whole different direction. So yeah, it would have been a completely different story if that caution had to come out. I think.
I know.
Far back.
Yeah, we were hoping the caution didn't come out. That was what we were hoping for. We kind of put ourselves in that position by not pitting on the caution before that. But if it went green, that was our plan, and it was working out. I thought we were going to come around. We were going to, go by them. They would pit. We'd probably put them a lap down. I mean, I thought we were in a really good spot there with 25, 30 to go, or whatever it was. But yeah. Anyways, I think Travis was having an issue there, flickering in and out and blinking, and I don't think Rick could see him. I don't think he knew where he was, and I think he thought he was gone, and he went to move up to get into the corner, and Travis was still there. So I think Travis blinking. I don't think he had very good control of the car, and that's just sucks for Rick. I like to have seen him run strong and see what would have happened here. I'd like to have battled him for the win, or what would have happened. I don't know. Maybe Adam and them would have come back. I have no idea, but it would have been fun to see if that caution had ever come out.
Yeah, well, and that was kind of the thing too, because from what we were seeing, it looked like Ricky had figured something out, because he was on older tires battling really good with Adam and John. So it was definitely a fun battle watching him race with them guys. And unfortunately, he gets caught up and swapped around on that to put him towards the back and a lap down. But it would have been very interesting to see. Things would have been different. But
Ricky and I were both very, very good on the long run. I think Rick was the best car on the long run tonight, though.
He was,
and so it would have been real interesting to see what happened there. Like you said, if maybe we could have gotten around Adam and them before they pitted, and I don't know what their plan was, but either way, it worked out for them, and congratulations to Adam for the win. But yeah, it would have been interesting to see what happened. I thought we had made ourselves in a bad spot, and then maybe things were going to work out in our favor, and then just when it looked like things were going to work out, the caution came out. So, but anyway, it is what it is. We were lucky to get back to third.
Yeah, equal tires. I think Ricky was the fastest car out there tonight.
He was fast. He for sure was really, really good on the long run. It was I don't know what he was doing, but like I said, this thing was, if you abuse this tire early, you definitely paid for it late, because it just melted the right side tires off of it pretty aggressively. Yeah. I kind of like that, though. Almost felt like it used to feel, if you know what I mean, John. Years ago when you used to have to drive this car that way, and it really mattered. Really mattered. You had to take care of it. If you abused it early, you'd end up going backwards in the run. Even the trucks were that way for quite a while. But
yeah, you paid the price. But yeah, I was watching times, and like I said, I do that a lot as the race is going on. And not so much that first stint, but that second stint, all of a sudden, I kept seeing Ricky as fast car. And he was in front of you by quite a bit there for a while. And I'm like, man, I don't even know if Rich is going to have anything for him. I didn't say it on the broadcast, but I'm like, he found something. He found a line that really worked with this car that didn't seem to cook the tire too bad.
He pitted a lap or two before I did on that, the green flag stop there at the end, towards the end.
Yeah.
So I did have a lap or two fresher tires, but yeah, like I said, Rick was really, really good on the long run, and I don't know what would have happened there, but I was going to pressure him and see what would have happened anyways.
Yeah.
He was going to have to earn it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that's why we were joking around on that restart. You got a really good jump on Ricky. And I even said, I was like, well, that's odd. Usually, they've got that, they're in the same room. Usually they coordinate it. I go, but, since that last win at Ricky's. Maybe Richard isn't doing that anymore.
Yeah, he's had too many wins in a row. I ain't helping him out. The hell with him. No, actually, we never talked about it. We never discussed it. I was focused on trying to figure out what the hell the pace speed was because I didn't even know. And then all of a sudden that little screen pops up there and you're like, oh shit, all right. And I was focused on that and we never discussed it. And as soon as we went green, I was like, oh shit, probably should have counted him down. It would have been a big help there. But yeah, we never discussed it. I don't think either one of us even thought of it.
Didn't realize that you already started, huh? Is that what you're going with?
Yeah. Just
Oh, I'm sorry, Ricky. I just wasn't even thinking about that.
oh, well, yeah. Geez, I don't know what happened there.
How that slipped my mind.
This car just drives itself.
Yeah. But yeah, good run though, like I said. But yeah, I felt really bad for Ricky. You know, he's especially in this kind of thing. This isn't like this one would have been something he just like walked, fell into a win. He was solid. So
Yeah.
he should have, I don't take away from anybody that won it, but honestly, this was his race to win.
Yeah, I felt like either him or I was in a really good spot, and it would have been interesting to see now that he was for the first time out front. That would have been that whole run had that caution not come out. He would have been out front that most of that run right there. How he could have managed his tires, and if he was able to manage them like he did earlier on the long run, then there's no way I would have had nothing for him. So, yeah, it would have been interesting to see how it played out, and he would have had a good shot at it, that's for sure. But
yeah, you could even see it when Adam and John were on 7, 8 lap older tires. They got around Ricky, but he didn't give up. He was right in there with him, mixing it up. Once Adam and John got a couple laps on, those tires starting to set in, Ricky was right there with them. Like I said, I was watching the whole time. I'm like, man, this is Ricky's. This is Ricky's.
That whole thing happened right in front of me. I was right there kind of riding, just taking care of it. And I was like, man, I got to make sure I don't burn this thing up because them guys are going to get racing, and that's exactly what happened. I started to reel them guys in myself. But that's what happens.
Either way, you want to give them a little space.
Yeah. But that's what kind of happens with this car now. It's, you can run around all fine by yourself, but, as soon as you get around someone else, you lose a lot of speed because the car won't turn. It's loose. It's this, that, and the other thing, And it happened earlier in the race. At one point, I think it was the run where I didn't pit on that caution, and I ended up like 4th, 5th, something like that, and was riding. And Rick went by me, I think it was, and I was kind of just riding right there. And I noticed that if I used his draft and got closer to him, the car wouldn't turn in the corner. So it affected me so much down the straightaway that Travis was actually catching me. He was like 1.5, 1.6 behind me, yeah. But if I let Ricky go and get out there to like a 1 second lead, I could put a little distance on Travis with each lap. So that's how much the car and the air affects the car. Just by catching the guy in front of you, you slow down a lot,
Yeah. But no, yeah, good race. Didn't work out quite as well as you guys had planned for, but still we're able to manage the podium. Unfortunately, the points are not updated, so I'm not sure where we're at on that. But I know Vern's going to drop pretty good because Vern and Adam were tied for first.
Yeah, I didn't need Adam to gain any more points going into Daytona. I'm going to have to hire a hitman with a sniper rifle to take his tires out at Daytona, I think. But
well, you got enough guys in your room now. You can probably convince someone to.
Nice crisp $5 bill. But now it is what it is. We'll rack them up at Daytona and see what happens. It'll be fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you still got New Hampshire yet. You still got one more before.
Oh yeah, that's right too. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So
I felt rusty as hell, dude. I sat down to run some laps a little bit before the room went up, and I'm like, holy shit, I haven't been in this seat in 2 weeks. Like, haven't even sat down in here. I've been busy as hell. I haven't even come in here and turned this computer on in 2 weeks. I'm like, about an hour before the room went up, I'm like, maybe I should turn that on and see if there's any updates and what's going on in the iRacing world.
Yeah, and there was, but luckily you could get away with some minimums that were pretty small. But yeah, trust me, you can ask Brazy. I had a couple. Oh, wait a minute, what am I doing? Moments here. I'm calling out lap times because I'll do that a lot. I try not to bore people with it too much, but I'll call out lap times from comparison after everybody's across the start finish. We were watching Vern a lot because he went out to us to so much of a gap. I'm like, yeah, I think he's going to pay for that later on, and you saw it. So I was calling out lap times to him and the total top 5 cars. You know, just
Yeah,
because
that's cool.
everybody was like 30. So I was like Vern's an 888 to Ricky's 534, Adams 437, you know, a type of thing. And then after a while, Brazy's like, wait a minute, what? He's like, I'm seeing completely different lap times. I'm like, and I'm in my head, I'm like, well, what the hell are you looking at? And then I look and I'm on replay and not live. So I'm like, oh,
John
hold on.
John had his eyes closed and he was just counting them like sheep.
Yeah.
An 8, 4, 3, a 5,
Yeah.
5, 2. He's
A little
gonna
sleepy.
fall asleep.
but but yeah, so it took me a minute to get back into it. But yeah, it's in New Hampshire, you're usually pretty decent there, right? Maybe hit up
Yeah.
Chuck for some tip. Chuck is usually really good
Yeah.
there.
Chuck is really good there. Yeah, I can remember a time where he almost lapped the field there, I think, in the speed car one time. So
Yeah.
yep.
So you
Luckily, we don't have to win the race, so we just got to have a good finish in front of Adam.
Yeah, and like I said, that's the thing with New Hampshire. It's kind of a flat track, but you can see some attrition there. You know, guys sending in a little bit too much in there. You get,
Oh yeah,
you know, you get up
yep,
too far. I mean, you got a couple grooves around the corner, but you get up too high, or somebody slides up in front of you. It could be, you know, a lot can happen there. So, yeah, you still got 2 more shots at it. So,
yeah. We'll see
we'll
what
see.
happens.
Yeah,
Yep,
I'll be curious to find out how this car handles at New Hampshire with this update. I'll be curious to see where and stuff like that.
yep, yeah. That's a good point.
Because
Well,
that's one
sir,
easily you could cook the right front coming in and the right rear coming out.
Yeah, this thing, I melted both right side tires off this thing fairly equally all night. So, um, it wasn't very hard to get it up on the right rear and get it sliding around. And, if you felt like you were too loose, you could just bury it in the corner. And, but yeah, I was like wearing both right side tires. That's odd because usually it doesn't happen in this car. Usually it's one or the other,
One
I
or the
guess,
other, yeah.
but I guess it depends on how you drive it. But yeah, it was weird. I don't know. There was a ton of grip. I mean, it wasn't that. It was strange. It was kind of a learning curve, and the car drove good, handled well. It was just it was racy. Just
Yeah. Well,
just
and it
that
was a
aero
cool
package.
night
You
too,
can't.
right? That
Yeah,
helped as well. You
yeah,
know, it wasn't too hot out. It was, I think before the race started, it was 73 and it ended up being 71. So cool track. So you had grip, but then also you're a little bit faster, which also increases wear. So that, you know, but yeah, good
yeah,
run, man. Third place.
yeah. Appreciate it, guys.
yeah,
Thanks a lot.
congratulations on P3. Is there anybody like to thank?
Yeah, I just want to thank my teammates, everybody that raced with us, all the fans that watch, and you guys for doing the broadcast, and everybody that puts everything on. McCully for all the work that he does, and behind the scenes shit that's really just really very thankless. No one sees a lot of it until it's right there, and then it's like, oh wow, this is cool. Look at this website, or look at this. Someone updated the points, or you know what I mean. Vern update. You don't think about that, but people have to take time out of their busy lives to do that shit, and it's a thankless job. So we appreciate it.
Alrighty, sir. Well, congratulations on P3, and we will see you again. Hopefully, we'll see you
Oh,
back
yeah.
up here again tomorrow night.
I hope so. We'll see.
Have a good night.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right. So then we're going to move on to this one right here. Mr. John McMillan, do you got a copy?
I got you.
Well, sir, hell of a night for you and Adam. Battled all night up front quite a bit. Ricky gave you guys a hell of a run there on that second to last run.
He sure did. It was kind of a bummer that he got in that wreck because it would have made more of an interesting race at the end with the 5 of us.
Yeah, it seemed like he had figured something out, and he was able to, even though he was on older tires, he was able to keep up with you guys as you guys kind of came up and got around him. And and then that caution got him, and unfortunately he ended up back a lot further and not able to battle with you guys. But still, you guys had your battles with Chuck there at the end, and managed to get up around him, and you guys got up front and never really looked back after that, on that last run. So
Yeah, the racing at the end there was good. I was happy. Chuck battled me clean and hard, which was nice and fun. And I made the best effort I could to catch Adam, but I caught him at the end. But there would have been nothing I could have done with him when I caught him. would have been tough to make the pass.
And he's another one that, week in and week out, he's missed, we've labeled him Mr. Consistency because he always seems to be in the top 5 somewhere. And you're right there with him usually. And, it shows in the points also because he's going to be the points leader now. So, I don't know. He seems to know what he wants to do, and you're right there with him along with the ride, and you guys work great as a team throughout everything, and it's always fun to watch you guys because you guys are always fast, and it's interesting to see which one of you guys gets out in front of the other one because it's not always him out front. Sometimes you're in front of him, and you guys battle each other sometimes pretty good too. So it makes it very interesting watching you two.
Yeah, it's good having Adam as a teammate. We work well together. He's fast too, and sometimes he's got good ideas to pick up speed, and other times I've got good ideas. So we kind of bounce things off each other and make ourselves both consistent and fast.
Well, and that helps too, right? When you got somebody to bounce ideas off of, it's like, hey, I'm trying this, or hey, I'm running this line. Try it. I think it's going to work. It's nice to have that.
Oh, it definitely is. Yeah, it helps us for sure, and because we're both consistent and fast, it helps a lot too. And I'm sure there's a lot of other teams that are like that too. Just it works well for us.
Yeah, it's a good run, good solid run. It was interesting to see what was going to happen. We were talking about that with Richard. If that caution hadn't come out, and you guys were still out on the older tires, how bad that was going to put you back by the time you hit the pits and came out, where you'd be at, and would you have enough time with the newer tires to catch them? And then the caution came out. We never found out, but I was like, this is going to be interesting because I wasn't sure how long you guys were. You still had enough tire left to and fuel left to get a couple more laps in. So I was curious what your strategy was on that. Were you just going to run it out as long as you could so you'd have such a short stint you could really push the car, or do you recall what your plan was at that time?
Yeah, that was pretty well our plan. We were going to run the fuel out there, and it actually worked out that Richard and them all pitted sooner than we thought they would. So our tire advantage was going to be greater, and we figured it would have paid off because their tires would have been about 12 or 13 laps old by the time we would have come out with fresh ones. And by the end of the race, they would have had roughly 43-ish laps on their tires, and we would only had about 30. So we'd have been able to push pretty hard, and we were figuring we would have caught them or at least been right there.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I figured maybe that was you're going to run that out just so fresh you could really push it. So, but yeah, but again, good run, man. Second place, nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And like I said, great run. You and Adam were up there off and on throughout the night, most of the night. So congratulations on second place. Is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Just thank my teammates, and I'm not sure if we have any sponsors. I've been in and out of the season, but I'll thank any sponsors we have, and just my teammates. Thank you guys as broadcasting it too. You do a good job, and this league runs a pretty good league for the most part.
Alrighty, well, congratulations on second, and hopefully we'll see you again. See you again up here soon.
Thank you.
All right. That means we're going to move on to this man right here. Mr. Consistency, number 9, Adam Matz.
Hello. How you doing?
We're doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. That makes me feel a lot better after that Michigan race, the last one we did, which I was pretty upset about, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say, honestly, we haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah. In that one I had a disconnect and I couldn't shift, and oh my gosh, so frustrating to have tech issues and kind of ruin the race. But luckily I salvaged something. But no, this race, wow, I cannot believe that worked out the way it did. I feel super lucky. I need to, I don't know, I want to say go to Vegas, but I'm not going to go to Vegas. I don't gamble, but I definitely feel lucky right now after that.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I thought you guys were putting yourself in a hole staying out just because of the time they were gaining on that until the caution came out. Then I'm like, oh, they're good now. But I thought that might have been a problem. Because that's what I asked John. How long? He said you guys are planning to run it out, which means you probably had another 5 laps, something like that, before you pit.
So actually, that caution, I was going to pit, if not that lap, the next lap. I was preparing to pit when that caution came out. As far as mentally, I mean. So it was coming soon. I only had a couple laps there before I had to pit, and that couldn't have worked out any better, frankly, because it let me keep track position and everything else. I had a close battle with my teammate off pit road, so that was fun. He didn't make it easy, but yeah, we were kind of debating about that too, because we thought about earlier, should we split it in half? Should we go long? But that was our last set of tires, so we didn't want to get caught in a deal where we pitted earlier, and then there's a caution, they get new tires, and we're stuck with old tires. So that's partly the reason we went long. And then I don't know, we were hoping just the newer tires would have enough of an advantage, because it was the drop off was pretty dramatic. So we were kind of hoping we would catch them, but it's hard to say. Who knows? Yeah, Richard was right there, competitive as usual. So I don't know if we had pitted with them. I don't know. It would have been a battle. I think Richard and Ricky and Chuck, all three of those guys were up there, and they were fast.
Yeah, they were about 1.5 to 2 seconds, depending on the lap, faster than you guys before that caution came out. That's why I was like, man, they're losing some pretty good time here. But then, again, like you were saying, the fresher the tires, with less laps to finish out the race, you can push them even harder than you normally would when you have to make a full fuel stint out of it. So it was going to be interesting to see. That's why I was like, man, I'm wondering if they're out too long. I thought maybe you were going to go even longer, but hearing that you were going to come in then, I was like, okay, that still gives them a 7-lap advantage on a new tire. So that, yeah, it would have been interesting to see how that played out for sure.
Yeah. And, honestly, so I pitted at that last caution. I think that was that 25 laps? I can't remember. But at the end, at the end of that run, that's not even that long of a run. I could already feel a pretty dramatic drop off. I mean, honestly, after about 10 laps, you could just feel it. It's just the grip would go away so quick, which was, cool. It's cool to have that kind of dynamic to it. And then to be honest, the track changed a lot from, I guess, the daytime to the transition to night. Earlier in the race, I was kind of honestly tight, and honestly, it was kind of mediocre and kind of struggling. And then once they got nighttime, the track loosened up, and I felt just a whole lot better than I did earlier in the race.
Nice. Yeah, I was curious how that track was going to transition, because I had talked to some of the guys earlier, and they had said they were, about 10, 12 laps or so, then you started seeing a significant fall off, plus or minus 10 or 12 laps. So I was curious to see how that was actually going to play out. Richard says he wore right front and right rear, where normally you're either going to burn one or the other. He said they were both worn pretty good, but even. So, and he was wrapping the bottom most of the race. So I was curious to see, I was going to ask how that car transitioned throughout the night.
Yeah, the earlier runs, I think it was like 50% or something, maybe even less. And it was pretty even on the right sides. That last run, I didn't check it, but I definitely cooked the right front, because I was pushing it for all it was worth at the end.
And it was definitely a heck of a battle you guys were putting up there with Ricky. It seemed like Ricky had found something, and he was, several laps older on his tires, but he was still maintaining with you guys. So it would have been good to see him. Unfortunately, got caught in that incident that brought out that caution, but it would have been good to see what kind of battle he would have given you. I mean, I'm sure you're glad something happened and he's not up there, but at the same time, it would have made it good. Would have been a good race for you, because he was battling you guys good.
Yeah, no, he did great when he was up front, all the tires, and the aero was pretty substantial. When I was behind the car, you kind of just lost grip, lost the nose, and I saw John behind me. When he's behind me, sometimes he'd get close, and then you could just see it. If he got too close, the car would just push up the track. And when I got behind Ricky there when he's on all tires, it was pretty tough. I didn't really know how to get around him. I kind of struggled I eventually used the outside, but it wasn't. I don't think it was a very smooth pass by any means. And then also the weird thing is, if I got a car really close to me on corner entry, it'd make me crazy loose. That happened to me once or twice. So there's definitely some the arrow seemed a little bit more exaggerated than what I'm used to seeing.
And I
Yeah,
think we've
Richard
seen
had
that all
mentioned,
season
mentioned
too.
Richard had mentioned something that if you got right up on somebody, it seemed like you wouldn't be as fast as if you had a little space between you and the guy in front of you. Almost like it would drag you guys down a little bit. It meant something to that. I might not have heard it completely, but it said something to the fact it was you. It felt better being just nobody around you.
Yeah, and that was interesting too, because I led, laps there, but like every time I would get away from, like they'd start racing and I'd get a little bit of a gap, and then as soon as they went single file, they just suck right back up to you. You never
Yeah.
like you couldn't get away. So, but luckily, yeah, not too bad. John was fast there at the end, and I'm glad the race wasn't any longer because he definitely had probably a tenth or two in the bank on me, but it was just enough. And then I was, to be honest, the last corner there, I went super conservative because I just didn't want to give up the inside or anything weird. So, but it worked out, so I'll take it.
Yeah, again, man, congrats on the win.
Yep,
Absolutely.
thanks.
Well, Mr. Consistency, is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, thanks, teammates. John, Ray had a great finish too, by the way. He finished fifth, which was wonderful. So all three of us in the top five. Hopefully Jerry will be back next race as well. Thanks to the admins, keeping it fun. Thanks to you guys for the broadcast and making it fun as well. And yeah, I think that's all I got. So thanks.
All right. Well, thank you for a good race again tonight, and hopefully we'll see you back up here again soon.
Yep, thanks.
And congratulations now on that points lead.
Yeah, definitely watching that.
All righty. Well, another week down. 2 more weeks to go here in the cars. We've got the trucks again tomorrow night and 2 more weeks for them also after that. Almost done for the season. So if you are out there watching still, or if you watch this later on, make sure to give us a like, give a thumbs up, hit that notification bell so you get notified when we go back live again, which will be tomorrow night. And if not, we will see you when we see you. Thank you all those who are out there in the chat world. Thank you all those who are sitting at home watching. And thank you to the drivers, the admins, and Mr. Sanu for coming up here and assisting me with the announcing. Always appreciate it. Always a good time. And until next time, we'll be back again tomorrow. Much love, and later on, everybody.
Good night, everyone.